I'll be the one to say it. I'd rather get railed in the ass by a 10-inch black vibrating dildo than play this game. This game is the James Corden of video games. It's absurdly bland, generic, and nobody cares about it. There's more interesting characters in the anime My Little Sister Can't Be This Cute. Now keep in mind this game is an open world RPG thingy-majig, yet I'm pretty sure Germany in the 1930s had more freedom than this game. In my very short time playing, I really wasn't able to experience any sort of an open world, and when I did, it really felt more like a linear experience with an open world slapped on top of it. Now, playing this game is like getting kicked in the balls. Every once in a while, you find enjoyment out of it, but then it goes right back to being painful. I'm not sure exactly at Ubisoft was like, dude, you know what we should do at Star Wars? Take out all of the interesting characters, put you in the most blandest place possible, and take away all of the excitement that Star Wars brings. This game's story makes Big Mouth look like a fucking masterpiece. I mean, it's basically on par storytelling wise as Paradise PD. And I know it sounds like I'm being harsh, and maybe I am, but this game truly just did not tingle any part of my body. Well, maybe it tingled one part of my body. I hear you crying out, but what about the gameplay? What about the gameplay? Well, here is Star Wars Outlaws gameplay.
What the hell are you doing?
Larry!
Larry, you can't just... Oh,
Larry! Oh, are you all right? How did...
Larry!
And that is literally everything you need to know about the gameplay of Star Wars Outlaws. Is it possible that the gameplay gets better after 2 hours, which is all I played? It's possible. Am I going to give it that 2 hours? No, because SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom is more interesting and more entertaining than this game was. But the biggest flaw this game has, in my opinion, is just having a boring and unlikable main character. The character fits more in a stepsis porn video than it does in a Star Wars game. I mean, how hard is it to make a dark and gritty Star Wars game? That's really all I've been asking for, and I don't know why no one's delivered. The visuals aren't anything impressive. I mean, an indie game studio could have made this in Unreal Engine, honestly. It's really nothing too over the moon. The motorbike's like trying to fuck with a limp dick. You're not getting anywhere. The previous Ubisoft games, I really did expect the character to walk around and go, hey, my name is this and my pronouns are these. What are your pronouns and what is your sexual identity? Thankfully, however, they kept that to a minimum, and I don't even think it appears, to be honest. The pacing of the game is still absurdly bad. It's like a porno where you're watching the porno and the girl comes in the room and she's like, hey, did you order a delivery package? And then he goes, suck my dick. It's like, whoa, buy me dinner at least. Like, build me into the fucking story. Don't just start throwing shit at me. Now, let's talk about Ubisoft themselves, because their anus is bleeding. I mean, their company is dying very, very quickly. Ubisoft needs this game to be a massive success for them, and unfortunately, it just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Star Wars Outlaws really is just going to be purchased by the hardcore, die-hard fans of Star Wars, and everyone else is just going to make fun of it and refund it. Now, what would I change about Star Wars Outlaws to make it better? Well, I would change a lot of things, but number one was, where's the NFTs? I clearly play video games for NFTs. I mean, Ubisoft themselves told me of why I play video games, to buy NFTs, so where are they? Another thing is, where's the store with microtransactions and time savers? How am I supposed to save time if you're not putting them in the game, Ubisoft? These are things I demand from my video games. I demand to be able to buy a flamingo outfit for my Star Wars character. This is stuff I need. But in all seriousness, I was actually excited to see that there was no microtransactions in this game. It gave me a little bit more hope. And then I realized they were selling a season pass, because why wouldn't they? That's so Ubisoft. Now, another thing I would have done is remove the female protagonist in general. Just get rid of her and make that little guy the main protagonist. I mean, he basically is. He's the number one guy. And I don't mean that as female protagonists can't be good, because it's been proven that they can. Ubisoft female protagonists just aren't good. Every time in recent memory that they've tried a female protagonist, it just flops so badly. But that is a summed up, very quick way of saying, yeah, I mean, Star Wars Outlaws sucked my left nut. But why? Why is Ubisoft so complacent releasing terrible dog shit games and hoping they work? That's simply because they'll just lay off staff so that way they can stay in business and then look for a buyer, which is most likely going to be Sony or Microsoft, and call it a day. And this is the most pathetic thing to do, but it's truly something that gaming companies, I think, rely on. When you have so many IPs like an Ubisoft or like an EA, you literally can't fail. Worst case scenario, your games start to slip, you sell to Microsoft, you wipe your hands clean and start a new business or just retire. God bless America. Some of these corporations make the Soviet Union look like a nice, safe place to work. But what do I think Ubisoft's next steps are? Like, what is Ubisoft going to do after this? If I'm being completely honest, I think Ubisoft's going to push out a pretty poor Assassin's Creed game and then sell to a company. They're not going to stay independent for very long. There's just no way they can. Their games aren't sustainable and they're not being well received. The longer they hold out to sell, the more and more their company loses value, and I think their investors are going to start looking for a buyer. At the end of the day, I'm not going to drag this video out any longer. I'd rather get bent over after dropping the soap, riled like the dirty girl I am, and purr after I'm done, than play this fucking game. StarWars Outlaws was one of the most miserable games I've ever played, and I fell asleep after just 2 hours. I would never wish it on my worst enemy, and I'd never, ever, ever play it again. But I'll see you guys later. This is probably going to get absolutely killed in the algorithm because it's not at least 8 minutes long, so if you could hit the like button and comment, I'd be greatly appreciated. Have a good one.
I ain't talking candles, light you up. Jump out the gym, I got bunny, no buzz. Dime in my teeth, I don't want me no slugs. Rock a little flash, she be showing me love. I don't rock with these hoes that be off of them drugs. I got bars, no jail.